guys, it's me, MissDarizard, and it's time for the Week 1 recap of Season 2 of the MissDarizard Draft League. I'm a little rusty, so bear with me. I realized after the fact that there are some things that I did a little bit differently than usual. Also, the layouts, again, all new. So, this week, this first one might be a little... I need a week to like knock the rust off, so bear with me here. But I am really excited to go over what we saw in Week 1. There were a lot of surprises, some things we didn't expect to see, and honestly, like, let's just jump right in. The first match that we're going to talk about is Ocan versus Vega, and this one was spicy, actually. We saw some good tech on both sides. The lead here, we see Garchomp go ahead and do a significant amount of damage to the Durant. But Vega going for some Truant Arena Trap spice, which I have never seen in this draft league, so it's very cool to see that kind of tech here. Not something you see very often. It seems like some Garbodor's tech that you might see on a YouTube video or something, but it's very cool. But the match does start kind of slow. You see them kind of feeling each other out. You know, Mug getting a super effective coverage move there, revealing that it's got Fire Punch. The big problem that we're going to see for Vega in this match is going to be the Pyukumuku. The Pyukumuku just seems to be a wall that Vega just doesn't really have an answer for. And if there was something on this team that was going to kill that Pyukumuku, it was the Thunderous. I think what Vega probably wanted to do is preserve that win con, but unfortunately Ocan was able to take it out with a crit rock slide there. And we just slowly see things kind of fall apart here. Well, I guess not completely. As you're going to see here in a few turns, Vega does actually threaten quite a bit, but I'll just let y'all guys kind of watch and see as we watch this Comfy just buff for no reason. It just buffs so much and then just dies the poison jab. It was kind of funny. Rocks gets significant chip off on Turtonator. It does 25% because Turtonator is weak to rock. But once again, Ocan swaps into the Pyukumuku with the absolute wall that just toxic and annoys everything. Soaking everything, that way he can toxic them even if they do have an immunity. I did learn something new here. King Shield does not protect you from toxic, so anybody ever using, you know, a Aegislash in the future, just keep in mind, King Shield does not protect you from status moves. It was not something I was aware of. Right now we're just seeing a lot of swapping. Just a lot of swapping, really them just kind of posturing for position. Here is where we get to see a little bit of spice. Vega finally gets the entrainment truant onto the glass horse, and he's able to protect, arena trap, and boost all the way to a +4. And thanks to the entrainment truant on the Glacier, there's nothing Ocan can do but just sit here and watch his little killer die to this Dugtrio. Very cool tech. Very, very cool tech. And on this next turn, we see a Protect and then a Stone Edge, and then the Glass Horse goes down. So this was the most threatening Vega was at any point in time in this match. Unfortunately, the Pyukumuku is just still way too bulky. Even with Dugtrio at +4, the Pyukumuku just doesn't die. So, like, it was apparent that Vega didn't have any way to deal with this thing. Honestly, if you don't have something that can one-shot it, or something that can bounce back or taunt it, you just kind of lose the Pyukumuku, unfortunately. The easiest way to counter Pyukumuku is taunt. Like, that's it. Just taunt it. It can't do anything. It doesn't have any damage-dealing attacks. It's just the easiest way to shut it down. Unfortunately, Vega didn't have any taunt users on his team. At least, it didn't appear that he did. If he did, they never got a chance to use it. And the rest of this match is not super exciting. It's basically just Ocan toxic stalling. So I'm just gonna kind of relax and let y'all enjoy watching the toxic stall. And I say enjoy very sarcastically. At least we have some good music to vibe out to, right? And that basically does it for this match. As you see the final Monoturtonator health tick off things to toxic. The next match we're going to see Pearly versus Jazz. This one was kind of a fun match. Jazz repeatedly making sure Pearly was aware that they are a VGC player, and this is something new to them. But this is also something new to Pearly. Pearly has never done any form of competitive Pokemon whatsoever. So we have two newbies here, and it was fun. It was fun to see because even though they were both new, they both seemed to know what they were doing because they played very well. We see, you know, Xatu being a little annoying, able to restore some health, even though the Wall of Fiascos, trying to slowly wear it down, hoping for a crit, not getting one. Pearly basically just restoring like 1 to 2% of health every turn. Well, until the Flamethrower, obviously. I think what Jazz may have been going for there was a burn on the Xatu, unable to get it, unfortunately. Xatu just totally walls this thing too. It's kind of funny to see a Celesteela, the thing that is known for walling things, get walled because Jazz can't do the Leech Seed strats, which I'm sure is what they planned on doing. But against a Xatu, you can't do that because of Magic Bounce. Finally, Jazz decides to go into DNC. This is not Mega DNC. The Mega on Jazz's team is Mega Swampert. Some pretty good chip on Landorus there. A pretty bulky Pokemon. Some pretty significant damage there. Pearly continues to pivot into Dracovish. And there we see that Lapras is not water absorbed. Had Lapras been water absorbed, we might have seen a little bit of a different outcome here from this game because Jazz may have been able to pivot around the Dracovish a little bit more, preserve the Lapras. Although, as you're gonna see in the end game, it's not really. You know, that probably wouldn't have mattered because the way Pearly wins this, I'm not sure a full health Lapras would have made a difference. The best bet for Jazz to pull this one off is to preserve Blaziken. Because when you take a look at Pearly's team here, the biggest threat is obviously the Scizor, and the best way to deal with that Scizor is the Blaziken. Pearly manages to get the Aurora Veil up here to add a little bit more bulk to the team, which is why Ninetales is able to not only live and kill here, but they're able to live a Aura Sphere from the Blaziken as well. The only reason Ninetales actually loses this matchup is due to speed up, or speed boost, which is an amazing ability, an absolutely amazing ability for Blaziken. Jazz immediately swaps out the Blaziken because Dracovish is terrifying. But Swampert doesn't care about Psychic Fangs, just doesn't care. But the thing about Mega Scizor here is it kind of just walls Mega Swampert. Mega Swampert can't really do much to this thing. Pearly can just keep roosting and restoring health. Now, something that could have happened here is that we could have either seen a crit or a defense drop. Liquidation can result in a defense drop. Had Jazz gotten a defense drop, Scizor might not have been able to just sit there and roost in Jazz's face and could have applied a little bit more pressure. But unfortunately, Jazz never gets that defense drop, and Scizor is able to keep as much health as it needs. It goes +2 thanks to that Swords Dance, and really we're just going to watch Scizor sweep the rest of what Jazz has on their team. Scizor picking up 5 massive kills in this matchup. The next match is going to be myself versus the Fairbanks Phalanx. That is MOC or Minor Manectric in the Discord. And this was actually a exciting match, and I'm not being biased at all. This was, as you're going to see, it comes down to the wire. I was sweating the entire match, was absolutely certain that I was going to lose. This Vileplume was an absolute nightmare for me, along with the Steelix. They both walled me pretty hard, and early on in the game, I really wasn't sure how I was going to do this because on top of those 2 walls, there was Tapu Fini, which obviously Bulu is a hard counter, but as we're going to see here soon, Tapu Fini actually isn't too worried about that. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'll let y'all wait and see here. I think part of the reason why I was able to pull this off had a lot to do with this Shuckle. Shuckle getting sticky webs off, a little bit of speed control was nice. Shuckle also giving me a really solid pivot to tank a hit and try and bait different attacks to swap into something different. Them having Strength Sap on 2 different Pokemon, super annoying. I can't just leave Bonk out here. I mean, Stone Edge has a high crit chance, but as long as they just keep Strength Sapping, that is going to do less and less damage unless I get a crit, and I don't want to depend on a crit to win this here. I do get some really good chip off on the Tapu Fini here with Flash Cannon because I was choice specs. I swap into Bulu here, and this is when it's revealed that he's running Ice Beam on the Tapu Fini. Gets tremendous chip damage off on Aku Aku, but I don't care. I'm like, you know what, whatever. I want a little bit of health. I'm going to kill Horn Leech. I know you're probably going to switch into Vileplume, but I really want this health. I need to preserve Tapu Bulu. In my head, that was the win con I needed to preserve. Switch in the Spicy, miss a Magma Storm, and then get put to sleep. And Miss Magma Storm is going to be a theme in this thing. Unfortunately, that's just what happens when you run Magma Storm. They go into Mega Steelix, which is an obvious threat with 4-time effective stab against Heatran. So I swap out, we do a little bit of posturing, and then I reveal Thunder Punch on the Rhyperior, able to punish the defog and pick up the paralysis, which is going to be another thing that is going to make a difference here coming down the stretch of this match. Trying to tick off some sleep turns on the Heatran, and still more posturing. There was so much posturing in this match. We were just constantly switching, trying to get good positioning so we could take advantage of our opponent, and it's just this whole entire match was just constantly swapping and making predictions. It was so fun. Finally managed to land a Magma Storm, take out the Flare Boost Drifblim, missed the Magma Storm, and then died high horsepower. What a big exchange and momentum shift there. That was, at that moment, I was convinced I was going to lose. I thought my win con was gone. I had no idea how I was going to take out this Mega Steelix. We did manage to take out the Rotom Fan and tank a Drain Punch here. Knock off the Choice Band. I was pretty certain that this thing was Choice Scarf, which is why I was running Sticky Webs, but revealing Choice Band and just knocking off that item in general ended up being a pretty significant help. More Vileplume swaps. Again, Horn Leech, just because I really wanted as much health on Aku Aku as possible, because I was certain that if I was going to win, still somehow it's going to be on the back of Aku Aku. Doing a little swapping here. Chonk, unfortunately, didn't really get too much done here, other than this chip on Tapu Fini. Now, don't get me wrong, this chip was significant, because Tapu Fini was something I also wasn't sure how I was going to kill, unless I tried to revenge with Tapu Bulu. We do manage to get a crit on this Avalanche here. Not sure in the long run that it mattered, but it definitely helped. And then we lose Chonk to a crit. That crit, the Moonblast crit, certainly doesn't matter. We go ahead and click Phantom Force here, expecting the swap, but that chip is still really nice. And then we predict the Sucker Punch with the substitute, predict the next Sucker Punch with a Dragon Dance, and then predict the Wicked Blow with Dragon Darts here. 3 predictions in a row. Only reason I was able to pull this off. Very fortunate that I was able to call those. Phantom Force getting super valuable chip on the Steelix. And then we swap out. We need to preserve Dragapult. We finally think there might be a chance. We still don't see the win con, but we see that there might be a way we can pull this off. Doing a little bit of posturing, recognize that Dragapult could swap in safely against the Vileplume, set up a sub, and Dragon Dance. Get a little bit of health back, just enough so that we can get a kill here. Now, if this Vileplume would have been max defensive investment, it would have lived a +1 Dragon Darts, but luckily for us, it was not. Able to pick up a kill, get a little bit more chip off on the Steelix, and then our big boy Bonk was able to finish this off. Well, I guess it's big girl Bonk. I guess I had the genders randomized, but either way, Bonk picking up the last 2 kills. The next match is Gent versus Godbear. This was another really fun match, mostly because British Gent's nicknames are amazing. For those who aren't aware, Alan was British Gent's Morpeko in last season. He loved that Morpeko, and it got drafted by another team this year. So he's clearly out to get revenge for Alan. But this match itself was fun. Really what we get to see here are a few different things. We get to see a little bit of weather control. with the Torkoal, which makes a difference for the Venusaur, making the Venusaur super fast and a tremendous threat. But right now what we're seeing is just kind of the Arcanine and the Deoxys defense going back and forth a little bit. We see a boost from Mega Diancie there, but as soon as the swap comes from Godbear and we see Kitty here, Mega Diancie wants no part of that. So British Gent goes, you know what, I'm going to go into Torkoal, get Sun Up to weaken the Water Stab here, and get that Solar Beam off. Solar Beam doesn't do as much as Gent probably hoped it would. So he goes into the Blastoise and clicks Shell Smash and says, you know what, we'll try to boost and hit you with one of these Aura Spheres and see what that does. But this thing is just so bulky, still doesn't do too much damage. Super effective Energy Ball does not feel good. So Gent's like, you know what, I gotta get out of here. We're gonna go into someone else. Let's try Alan is my soulmate. Chlorophyll Venusaur is really nice. We can go ahead and get a free growth here and then pick up a kill on this Arcanine. Arcanine does manage to get some super important chip though on the Venusaur. I'm willing to bet that chip makes a difference here in the long run. But what are you gonna do against Mega Lopunny? You know, Mega Lopunny is just so good. Gent goes into Emolga here, trying to resist the Fighting Stab. And this Jolteon winds up being a huge surprise here. Alan knocks off the Flame Orb. Love the Flame Orb tech to present getting put to sleep or status by the Venusaur. Super, super smart tech. You don't see that very often. Jolteon picks up another kill, and then he baits the switch into the Venusaur and picks up the kill on Venusaur with Weather Ball, Sun Boosted Weather Ball. Super, super good tech from this Jolteon. Godbear playing really well. Taking British Gent predicts the Earthquake, swaps into Alan. But then Jolteon picks up another kill. Weather Boosted Sun Ball. Or what? Weather Boosted Weather Ball, sorry. Words are hard. Here, Gent, I think, is hoping that maybe he can take out a couple Pokemon with Deoxys defense. Goes for Protect to try and preserve as much health as possible. Gets some really nice damage off with that Psychic. He was probably hoping that it killed. Unfortunately, it does not. And then here he actually manages, or maybe not on this turn, sorry. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. He does pick up the kill on Mega Lopunny. Here he manages, against this Mamoswine, to actually pick up, oh, I guess I missed it. He manages to hit a double Protect earlier in the game, but I guess I missed it, and the Scarf Mamoswine is just too fast and finishes off the match. The final, or not the final match, but the next match we're going to talk about is Primarsu versus LA Caveman. This one was just a slugfest. This one was like speed chess. It honestly was moving so fast. There wasn't too much swapping. It was like, probably basically sent out their Pokemon, said, here's this, you figure out how to deal with it. And LA Caveman was like, all right, I'll see what I can do. And it's just a slugfest. Pride tries to boost, doesn't matter. A crit Crab Hammer from Sheer Force Mr. Krabs does not care. Pride picks up the revenge kill with Cobalion, but then Cobalion dies to Camerupt, Sheer Force Camerupt. 2 Sheer Force Mons on this team, very strong. Also another Weather team with the Gigalith Sand. And 2 Pokemon benefiting on this team from the Sand in the Stoutland and the Dracozolt. Pry able to get some good chunk off on the Gigalith, and then kill the Gigalith with El Champo. But then El Champo takes an Ice Fang, which reduces its attack because of its ability. Once it's under 50%, it does half attack. And then Old Man Jenkins able to pick up the Flinch Burn against the Superior, and then just finish it off with another Fire Fang. The final match we'll cover is Boo Bear Sergeant Mac versus Kerfungal Sandoval Salazels. This match was another fun one, just because William bending the rules a little bit with his normalized or his all normal type team this year, making things a little bit more interesting. However, Mega Kangaskhan taking a ton of damage from Toxic and Iron Barbs here, thanks to the little baby there also picks up Iron Barb damage. So Ferrothorn looking to be the perfect counter for Mega Kangaskhan. But this Raticate we also see does some pretty good work here, knocking off the Life Orb on Ribbit. Love the Frogadier. U-turn doing some pretty good chip on the Raticate. And then Cinderace clicking Zen Headbutt, which Raticate's immune to. I think maybe he was trying to make a read and just kind of wastes a turn there. But the Eradicate being surprisingly bulky, able to live a Pyro Ball. Sure, he was trying to go for a counter there, but gets paralyzed, so Sergeant Mech is able to pick up the kill there. But then Dusclops gets Trick Room up for some good speed control. Mew sets up Stealth Rocks, not sure how much difference that's going to make, but Golem's Heavy Duty Boots are gone. But Golem in Trick Room is scary. Sets up their own rocks and then kills Staraptor with Stone Edge. Then William sending out the Frogadier to die to rocks. Cinderace U-turning once again, trying to maintain some momentum, trying to find a win con here. Debo is holding on for dear life, but then dies to Toxic. Then Fake Out here to flinch the Golem, get some healing back. Trying to find a way to win here. Seismic Toss finishing off Golem. And then we see Dusclops. And then I think Kerfunkel makes a few good reads here, predicting the Sucker Punch. And then William clicks Seismic Toss. Dusclops does not care. Maybe trying to make another read there, not really sure. Either way, Dusclops able to capitalize. Taunt doesn't matter anymore. We already got Trick Room up, friend. We do not care about that. You can knock off a Eviolite. We don't care. You're going to die. If you're gonna give up your if you're gonna give up all your health for from your Mew like that, we're gonna just take as much away with Nightshade as we can. Mew not really having any coverage for this Primarina, just continues to knock off, so Primarina picks up the kill, but then dies to Gunk Shot from Cinderace. Cinderace hits real hard. At this point, it looks like Cinderace might have a chance, but unfortunately does not kill. Dusclops lives on 2% and finishes off Sergeant Mech's last Pokemon. And then that takes us to the Pokemon of the week, which is Scizor. Scizor had 5 kills this week, so a really, really good showing from Scizor in the Pokemon Friendship Society. And I mean, I don't know, Scizor just put in work. 5 kills is a really good way to start off the season. So yeah, that covers it. Like I said, you know, I know this might have been a little bit rough compared to usual, but I needed a session to kind of like get back into the swing of things here. So this is going to be my warm-up video for the season. So bear with me as I kind of figure things out again and you know, get these highlight videos up to snuff once again. But thanks everyone who stopped in and made it this far. You know, please stop into my channel. I'll be streaming my matches live again this week. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens for week 2. That's gonna do it here, and y'all have a good one.